Europeans don't hide their crimes. They commemorate them. They don't regret empire. They sculpt it in granite, name streets after it, fund scholarships in its name, and build museums to house the spoils. Every colonial war has a parade. Every massacre has a statue. Every genocidaire has a stamp. Every mass theft gets filed under cultural heritage. Leopold II turned the Congo into a labor camp, where forced rubber quotas mutilated children and burned villages to ash. They gave him 17 statues, named tunnels, boulevards, and entire parks after him. Napoleon re-enslaved Haitians, re-invaded the Caribbean, and launched wars that killed millions across Europe and North Africa. France buried him under golden domes and named entire cities after him. Columbus kick-started centuries of genocide, enslavement, and biological warfare. They gave him a U.S. holiday, over 100 statues, and named entire countries and capitals after him. Cecil Rhodes massacred the Matabele people, seized land by force, and laid the foundations for apartheid. Oxford still hands out Rhodes scholarships. His name still sits on colleges, streets, and foundations. They named British destroyers after Queen Victoria, while she presided over the Indian famines that killed tens of millions. They put Edward Colston, slave trader, mass trafficker, on pedestals in Bristol until 2020. They put Francisco Pizarro, who butchered the Inca, in the center of Lima. They built Trafalgar Square to glorify a naval war that preserved slavery. They celebrate the Spanish Reconquista, a 700-year ethnic cleansing campaign with festivals, flags, and cathedrals built over raised mosques. The British Empire celebrates Victoria Day in Canada. Belgium still has Leopold monuments intact and cleaned. The Dutch still celebrate Golden Age painters who profited off the transatlantic slave trade. Portugal celebrates Vasco da Gama as a national hero, while ignoring his execution of Muslim prisoners in Mombasa. They literally celebrate Australia Day on the anniversary of indigenous dispossession. They name entire cities after slavers: Rhodesia, Georgetown, Kingstown, Jamestown, Victoria, Elmina, Port Louis. They put plantations on the back of currency. They hold royal jubilees funded by taxes taken from colonized peoples. They filmed The Crown while Britain was deporting Caribbean elders. They wrote children's books about kings' armies who starved Bengal, flattened Kenya, and torched Sudanese cities. They hung Haitian revolutionaries, then named streets after the men who sent the hangmen. They installed apartheid, then named universities after the architects. They erased the dead, then kept their teeth in museum drawers. They erased indigenous languages, then gave schools Latin mottos. They desecrated sacred land, then declared the ruins UNESCO sites. They put generals on horsebacks in town squares, men who bombed, gassed, hanged, and whipped their way across 3 continents. They call their loot collections. They call their massacres missions. They call their propaganda curriculum. They call the blood-soaked timelines the Enlightenment. They call the criminals founding fathers. They celebrate the French foreign nation born out of Algeria's colonization. They celebrate the Boer Wars, which pioneered concentration camps. They celebrate World War I without mentioning African and Asian soldiers forced to die for empires that called them beasts. They handed out OBEs, MBEs, and CBEs, literally Order of the British Empire, in 2025. They still knight people in the name of empire. The British Museum, the Louvre, the Vatican, the Pergamon, the V&A, they are all crime scenes with coat checks. Their archives are full of confessions labeled as classified. Their holidays are national amnesia rituals. Their statues are granite lies. Their textbooks are sanitized murder. Europe doesn't teach history. It curates alibi. It displays the stolen bones. It polishes the swords. It sells gift shop postcards of the crimes. This isn't collective forgetting. It's institutional pride. Cope.